I just got this extra long boom arm for my Shure microphone MV7, and I like it. It does the job. It gives me that reach that I needed from the extra long arm where I like to put it. But there's definitely a couple of quirks that you should know about before buying that I had to just figure out the hard way. All right, so first of all, in case you're not familiar with these types of boom arms, these are not the flexible kind. I have a microphone here where it is on one of those boom arms that flexes back and forth and you can move it anytime. This one does not do that. It is set in place by these dials and you turn them one way and they don't have an infinite positioning. You can feel that it sets into place at certain intervals. And then when you get it at the interval that you want, the angle, you can go ahead and tighten it back up. So there's one at the bottom here where it is attached to the clamp, and we're going to talk about the clamp in a minute. And then it's got the one long arm, another dial for positioning, another long arm, and the final knob for positioning. So you do have to kind of set it and forget it. You know what I mean? You have to pick your positioning that works best for your situation and then lock it into place and kind of think of it as something that you don't want to have to readjust all the time. So what I've done where I put mine is I do have it in a good position so that I only have to deal with the one locking knob here to move it back and forth, but everything else is at the angle that I want it, including the microphone itself. Now, another feature it has is a place for the cord to go, which I love. My flexi boom arms that I have, they don't have that. So you just have twist ties or those little wraps all the way down to keep your wiring from getting crazy. This actually has a channel that goes along the top and it has these little tabs along the way to keep it in place. And the best way I found to remove these tabs is with just the end of a pen. Just put your pen in here and pop it out. And then they go back in easy, but don't break a nail trying to get these little things out. It's not worth it. And then you can just pop them right back in. But that is nice because then you can direct the cord all the way down and then I have it wrapped up here at the end. Now I mentioned the clamp. This is the clamp that comes with it. It is really nice and sturdy. I love it. It's very heavy duty because this has some weight to it. And especially if you have this leaning this way a lot, the weight of your microphone is really going to pull on this clamp. The only problem in my case with this clamp is that the desk I needed to put it on did not have this much clearance. I have one of those old desks that has the routered edge, so it's a little decorative and it doesn't have too much of a lip sticking out, and this needs a lot of lip, like a lot of edge to be able to clamp to. So in my situation, I could not use this particular clamp for the desk that I was putting my microphone on. So I had another old one from another boom arm that worked okay, but it's not meant for that heavy duty weight that that boom arm carries. So just check to be sure before you buy this that this clamp, the depth of it is going to fit on your desk or your table or wherever you are wanting to mount this boom arm. Let me get actually my measuring tape so I can give you the measurements. I don't know if these measurements are on the listing. All right, so let me measure that for you because this is going to be a helpful piece of information. Here is the measurement of this clamp. I have it on the end there. So I would say it's about 2 3/4 inches deep this way. So just go ahead and measure that. This is a clamp that I think has the most height as far as being able to fit multiple thicknesses of your desktop or your tabletop. So you would just, of course, wind this and create more space and then clamp it back up. And it does have a rubberized top here and here as well to protect your surface. So just do yourself a favor ahead of time, ahead of getting this boom arm, and measure the depth of whatever surface you are going to be mounting this on to be sure you have that full 2.5, 2 3/4 inches depth. You really need all that depth because in my case, what happened with my desk, I only had maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, and this couldn't get all the way on. And you can see how this is not all the way to the end here. It's kind of halfway in the middle, which is fine if your tabletop can get in as far as it needs to, but mine could only get in about this far. So this clamp wasn't giving enough security to provide enough counterbalance for the boom arm weight. So just an FYI there. But I gotta say, I absolutely love the fact that this boom arm is as long as it is. There's a couple of quirks that you just have to work around, but the fact that it gives you all of this length is pretty incredible if you have a situation where you need to be able to reach farther than your typical boom arm. So hopefully this video was helpful to you and gives you some more information about how to make the best of this extra long boom arm.